Good morning. Good to be with you again this morning. And we're continuing the working on the 4 pillars of a healthy Christian business leader: healthy relationships, biblical financial values, biblical spirituality, and balanced living. This week we're dealing with balanced living, which is pillar number 4. And the series for this week is called R&R on Sunday. That's been our focus. Good morning, Jeremy. Good to have you with me today. So far in our series, we've looked on Monday at the primary purpose of Sundays. On Tuesday, relax and rest. On Wednesday, when we put our R&R ahead of worship. And so we talked about that yesterday. Today we're going to talk about balancing R&R and worship. And so, that's kind of the focus for the week. In many ways, life is about balance, and it's true, on really about every level. And that's one of the reasons why it's one of the pillars that we have for a healthy Christian business leader. I love getting out and enjoying nature in one way or another. And often Sundays can be a great day for that. But of course, being that I'm a pastor, and Sundays is often also one of my busiest days, or it certainly can be. Not in COVID days, it's a little bit different now, but normally speaking, it can be. So that means that I can't always get out on Sundays to do maybe what I'd like to do. And here's a challenge. What are some ways that we can balance our R&R with our worship? And the first thing I'd say is make a point of gathering with the church. Make a point of gathering with the church family, and then go on your hike, or go skiing, or go hunting, or go fishing, or whatever. Now, if you've traveled out of town and you're in a different community, there's very few communities where you cannot find a gathering of the believers. And so my encouragement always would be go try and find a place where you can gather with believers. Even when you're on vacation, you can do that. And again, tomorrow we're going to talk about not being legalistic about this, and I believe that's true. We shouldn't be legalistic about it, but I do think that we need to, at the same time, recognize the importance of being able to gather together and to worship Christ together. And especially, again, now, as our ability to gather is limited, we want to take advantage of gathering together as much as we can. Of course, there are times that our worship and R&R can also go hand in hand. For instance, if you're out camping and you're under a night sky that you just, wherever you live in the city somewhere, you just can't see, but you're out camping, you're out in the woods, and you look up at the night sky and you just see the glory of God. And you just can't help yourself but worship Him. To sing praises to His name, to glorify Him, to say, what an amazing God we have, and to worship Him right there on the spot. And that too is a great thing that we can do. Or maybe you're on a hike and you come across a spectacular view. You're either climbing up a mountain and you get to the top and then you've got that gorgeous view, or you come to the ocean and again there's just so many spectacular because we're told in Scripture that nature declares the glory of God. And so when you see that and you simply in response declare the glory of God and worship Him, that too is, of course, part of our worship of God. Then there are times, though, that we don't quite strike the right balance. I love this story about this pastor. He decided to skip church on a Sunday morning to go golfing, and as he was golfing, like things just couldn't go better. Like he hit that first ball, and like it landed just like inches away from the hole, and he got a birdie, and then the next he gets a hole in one, and like this game is just fantastic, and he's just getting hole in ones. And he's well below par, and he's just got the best game he has ever played in his entire life. And his deacon, who happened to be with him playing golf that morning, looked up and said, God, like, what are you doing? Like, why are you allowing him to have that experience where he's just getting hole in one after hole in one, and what a great game. To which God simply replied and said, who's he going to tell? Who's he going to tell? You know, of course, the worst thing for a golfer is that he can't tell anybody about the great game that he had because he'd skipped gathering together with the saints. And so today, as you go about your day, consider how balanced your Sunday, how balanced your Sundays are, how balanced your time of worship is. And then may we balance our R&R and our worship. May we find ways to do that are good, that are healthy, and that help us continue to draw near to God. I guess if I think about this week, my hope is that we recognize that our R&R, our rest and relaxation, it ought not to be drawing us away from God, ought not to be causing a wedge between us and God and God's people. I was teaching the kids last night in Awana, and one of the things that we saw there was the importance of being together with God's people. And it's so true and so important. May the Lord bless you. Have a great day, and I'll see you again tomorrow.